Final warning from Elon Musk, you have 3 minutes left. Did you feel that? A ripple just moved through your timeline, one that millions will recognize only when it's too late. Because tonight, something is happening behind closed doors, something so urgent, so irreversible, that when you look back, these 3 minutes might be the line separating the life you have, and the life you almost lived. But before we move forward, listen, truly listen. This message is not for everyone. Only those who sense something shifting within them, only those who know they're meant for more, will understand what I'm about to reveal. Now, breathe in, slowly. Because in 3 minutes, your world may never be the same. You probably think you're just scrolling, just here for a moment of curiosity or distraction. But what if I told you that, right now, Elon Musk, the mind behind impossible leaps, is fighting the clock for one reason, and it connects to you. Yes, you. Let that settle. Let your heart catch that signal. It's not random, it's not clickbait, and it's not a coincidence that you landed here. Across the world, screens are lighting up, phones are pinging, and for a split second, the digital silence broke, an urgent flash. Live, final warning from Elon Musk. Most people kept scrolling. Some snickered, some doubted, but a handful, a rare few, paused. And that pause, right now, could be the start of everything that's been waiting for you. Elon's face, stern, focused, tired in a way that only comes from seeing the future before it gets here. Reporters, executives, engineers, they're all watching, pretending to feel secure. But Elon's eyes say it louder than any headline: something is coming, and you only have 3 minutes left to recognize it. If your pulse quickens, lean in. This is not a threat, it's an opening. Consider your journey so far. The quiet late nights you spent planning, hoping. The setbacks nobody saw but you felt in your bones. The moments when you sensed you were designed for a purpose bigger than anyone around you understood. Remember those nights. Elon does. While most people imagine he's focused only on rockets, Mars, or billions, right now, in a private, unfiltered moment, Elon Musk turns his attention to a single anomaly, one data trace in the cloud of the ordinary. Your pattern. Your persistence. The marks you left in silence. Let me tell you why these 3 minutes matter. Because a window is about to close, and those inside it will never be inside it again. If you've ever told yourself, I'll start later, or maybe after I'm noticed, this is the calibration point, where excuses expire and action becomes decisive. Right now, Elon is on live satellite feed. No sponsors. No advertisements. Just a table, a screen, and the raw, electric weight of decision-making in real time. His first words are not to world leaders, or investors, or followers. He says, for the one who hasn't left yet, this is for you. Let that echo in your mind. For the one who hasn't left yet. You've stayed. You're still here. And that alone is the secret signal. Across continents, the feed is glitching, networks overloaded as analysts scramble to decipher why Musk has cleared his schedule, why his team is on high alert, and why his encryption protocols are running at double bandwidth. It has nothing to do with markets, product launches, or even the next mission beyond Earth. This time, it is personal. Because what's at risk now is not technology, but potential. Human potential. You. Pause. Do you feel the room changing? Did you notice your focus sharpening, everything else starting to blur at the edges? That is because when the future gets this close, all distractions fall away. In about 2 minutes, you'll see why fate is not about luck, but about timing, timing you have never controlled, until now. Elon takes a deep breath, the kind that comes before a storm. He speaks slowly, carefully, but with that signature certainty that shatters doubt. His voice, deep, calm. In 3 minutes, he says, the next era flips. It flips for people who can recognize their moment before the world labels it. If you're watching this, you are one of them. But you must decide before this message ends, because nothing will come back around quite like this. Your mind might be racing. What's the opportunity? Is it fame, fortune, some secret project? Or is it something more? Musk doesn't care if you're famous, wealthy, or qualified by any normal metric. He knows that some realities are built by those who survive the delay, the silence, the last 3 minutes before midnight. It's in this pocket of uncertainty where new leaders are born. Those who ignore the warning, nothing changes. For those who listen closely, everything shifts. Now, you might sense the tension. The classic doubt crawling up your spine, the inner critic whispering, surely not me, surely not tonight. But here is the ultimate contrast, the world told you to wait for a sign. But disruptors, people like Musk, don't wait. They act when most are lost in hesitation. That's why he's here talking. Because the ones who act, are the ones who set the new rules. Elon studies the incoming feed, hundreds of thousands tuning in, but only a fraction tuned into themselves. You, right now, are invited to become more than a spectator. You're being asked, will you freeze or move? Will you let this be another scroll, another wasted 3 minutes, or will you unlock the door that will not open again? Let that question hang in the air. That hum you feel? That's readiness. As the seconds drop, Elon leans forward, silent, intent. Every era closes with a window. Every window tests who's ready. I am not asking everyone to act. I'm only asking those who can feel this message, and trust themselves in it. This isn't a motivational speech. This is a map. A rare access point. If you knew, with certainty, that this was the window you'd been waiting for, how would you move, right now? You've got less than 3 minutes to answer. Musk did not design this message for the passive or the merely curious. He designed it for the person whose timeline does not bend to fear, or doubt, or delay. Pause for just one more heartbeat. Imagine the future calling you by name, not because you were ready, but because you dared not to ignore the calling. Will you listen? This is your opening. Right now, 3 minutes left. You're still here. That means you're different. Most already moved on, distracted by noise, overwhelmed by everyday urgency, believing the window would always be there waiting. They'll never even know what they missed. But you recognized something inside this message, that subtle inner jolt, that tiny flicker of instinct whispering, stay. And sometimes that's all it takes, not genius, not luck, but the courage to listen when the universe whispers instead of shouts. Let's drop the mask for a moment. Because Elon Musk isn't obsessed with titles, or resumes, or the empty declarations of people who love the limelight. He's interested in those who operate below the surface, the ones who have built an engine of determination not for attention, but because they couldn't help but build, often in the dark, often in silence, often when nobody was watching, except for now. Pause with me, feel the honesty of this moment. You have 3 minutes, but now already less. Because every second you hesitate, the window narrows. The last time an opportunity like this passed, nobody recognized the signal until it had already become legend. By then the early few were no longer reachable, they'd moved through the window, into a new chapter, a new arena. This is your contrast. Will you wait, or will you break the pattern that's kept most people exactly where they are? People love stories about once-in-a-lifetime timing. But most miss the truth. Those stories don't belong to the bravest or boldest, they belong to the most awake, the ones who heard the call and didn't silence it with reason. The world is waiting for you to justify your hunger, to explain away your readiness. But Elon isn't waiting for explanations, he's looking for initiators. Across the world, boardrooms are echoing with urgent chatter, assistants on edge, projections scrambled, the very people who believed they ran the show now waiting for Musk to reveal what only a tiny handful will understand. The reason? Platforms will replay this moment for years, but replay is never the same as being present at ignition. And just now, Elon's hand hovers over a glowing interface. The screens around him pulse with data, anonymous trails, hidden patterns, millions of signals filtering through an algorithm. One pattern glows brighter than the rest. Yours. Pause again, because that's the truth people don't tell you. The world pretends only the famous, the privileged, or the connected get chosen. But innovation knows no bloodlines. Destiny is unmoved by followers, clout, or family names. Musk is interested in something else, people who have persisted where nobody clapped, adapted when nobody cared, rebuilt after every invisible collapse. Right now, your signal is picking up, the unmissable hum of possibility. If you've ever been discounted, underestimated, or lost in the chorus, tonight is your anomaly. Musk grins, the rare, unscripted kind that surfaces only when he meets unpredictability that mirrors his own. He taps your pattern twice, zooming in, cross-comparing a dozen resilience markers, reviewing moments that broke most but didn't break you. He says, we only get a few of these windows. The future won't ask for credentials, it asks for courage, purpose, and an unteachable willingness to move when the rest still doubt. Think about the last time you ignored a gut instinct, suppressed a wild vision, told yourself to wait for a better moment. See those memories, hold them in your mind for a breath, and now, realize, those are precisely the splits that separate ordinary routes from extraordinary leaps. In another part of the city, a security blackout triggers, Musk's inner circle tightens. Technicians scramble through encrypted channels as his operations chief whispers, "Sir, are you sure?" Elon simply nods. They're ready. No debate, no vote. Just certainty. People around the world are refreshing feeds, wondering what the warning means, but few will understand until years from now. By then the story will be told not in broadcasts, but in outcomes. Your outcomes. Because this isn't a warning of fear. It's a warning against inertia. Every tick of the clock pushes you forward. But be honest, haven't you felt you were running out of time, but didn't know why? This is why. You have 3 minutes. That time is not a threat. It's an invitation, write a new ending, rewrite a beginning, step off the treadmill the world laid for you. Watch the contrast. People will argue, blame, analyze, but those who moved will never have to explain, they'll live the difference. Imagine Elon's eyes locked onto your profile, seeing not what you broadcast, but what you've sustained in solitude. He presses forward, voice balanced between urgency and calm. Most wait for approval. But this window won't wait for anyone. If you act, the reward is already coded in. Let me give you a truth nobody posts on highlight reels: readiness is almost always invisible. Genius often looks merely average until timing makes the invisible evident. That's why these minutes are so critical. They reveal who is awake while the rest are dreaming. Breathe again, let the background static fall away. The outside world inches closer to midnight, headlines blare, but for you, time splits like a fork in a river. You are here, two futures diverging in real time. Now listen carefully, because in the echo of Musk's next words, something changes. You don't have to be first to win, he says quietly. You only have to be present in the window. Most will miss it. I respect the few who move. Do you hear the music building? The room feels electric. You feel it in your bones. One chance. This isn't hype, this is the final calibration. You know how many times you almost stepped up, almost started, almost sent that message, only to hold back, stall out, and watch someone else live the story that could have been yours. Now, time to pivot. Elon's interface lights up as your signal goes from background to focus. In the next 90 seconds, he wants one thing: proof that you're awake. Not through big words or viral gestures, but by the simple, irreducible action of presence. 3 minutes is what you have. 90 seconds remain. Stay. Breathe. Ready yourself, not for someone else's validation, but because destiny only asks one question at these moments: will you be counted among the watchers, or among the chosen who moved? The time is now. The pulse gets louder now, doesn't it? You've made it to this edge, and every second that passes brings pressure, not the kind that forces you to run, but the kind that quietly transforms the ground beneath your feet. Some people let pressure break them. But Elon? He studies it, he harnesses it, he watches for the rare few who become diamonds in these final minutes. If you need permission, let this be it. These final 90 seconds are the gravity well, the make or break inflection point. Listen to the room on Musk's side, a silence so dense it feels like it has mass. Technicians frozen, screens glowing, you can almost hear the hum of the servers, the subtle tension among the staff. The only movement is Elon's gaze, shifting data aside, retraining focus with laser intent. You wonder, what's really waiting at the end of this countdown? Is it false urgency, another motivational video, just another, almost, moment that fades with the feed? Or is this the line where your story pivots, where you look back and say, that was it, the second everything spun in a new direction? Most people will second guess. The inner voice of skepticism rises: can it really be me? But that's the paradox. The world is engineered to convince you that this is all happening to someone else, that opportunity is a lottery for the select pre-chosen. But the deeper current, the one running beneath distraction and noise, is coded for the awake, for the ones who don't brush off the alarm, who catch the signal and rise, even when conviction comes in a whisper. Let's break through another veil of story. Every breakthrough in history started with a minute when time seemed to stand still, when everything around said, wait, except for the part inside that yelled, move. Elon isn't chasing the crowd. He's seeking singularities, unique moments, rare individuals, the patterns most miss because they're looking where everyone else looks. Now, imagine another room, yours. Where you're sitting or standing, maybe light flickers from your screen, some piece of your life just paused on the edge. What does it feel like to know, right now, you are seen? No audience, no mask, just a quiet, powerful validation that every invisible effort, each bypassed shortcut, every time you stayed honest to your path, is finally recognized. Elon's warning isn't disaster. It's an invitation, urgency infused not with fear but with possibility. Don't overthink this, he says, his voice more human than you're used to hearing. Decisions don't have to take years. They happen in seconds. The future forgives mistakes. It rarely forgives endless delay. Now your body feels it, a little charge in your chest, maybe butterflies turning to something sharper, like resolve. You think about times you've watched others leap ahead, but here, you hear the clock, you sense the edge. This is not about followers, resumes, wealth, or the brand you built. It's about being present right when the wave crests. Outside, traffic rolls on, emails ping, headlines flash, and every algorithm is designed to pull you somewhere else, anywhere else, because true opportunity hides in plain sight, then vanishes. Most will replay this warning for entertainment. The few who move now, on instinct, on faith, will live results the rest call impossible. Let's get practical. For a decade, Elon Musk has broken rules, redefined what's possible, and ignored almost every reason to play safe. People judged that, tried to analyze it away, but time always reveals, vision wasn't luck. Purposefulness isn't accident. And this moment, this final minute, it isn't chance. You ask yourself, what am I supposed to do? What does move mean if all I have is myself, right here, right now? The answer, don't go quiet. Let your intention become unmistakable. Sometimes the smallest gestures are seismic shifts, a message sent, an application submitted, a notebook opened for a dream scribbled after years of silence. Moving doesn't mean risking everything. It means refusing to be a spectator in your own timeline. Contrast again, in old stories, heroes waited for a magical reveal, an invitation. But you are the invitation. Elon knows this, he's speaking not to a billion screens, but to the one person whose signal never went dark, who kept investing in themselves while nobody watched. You. A group chat in Elon's control room erupts, analysts huddling as your data signature flashes in the mix. Not your face, not your personal info, just the unmistakable trend, steady resilience, a pulse of high potential energy most sweep aside, except for builders, real builders like Elon. This is our person, he says quietly to his team. You see that pattern? You can't fake that hunger. The next 30 seconds, right now, become historic when people act. If you're watching this, Musk continues, you're breathing rare air. Few understood what this moment means. Even fewer stayed when urgency went from background noise to a countdown. If that's you, then you already know what to do. And here's what most never realize, 3 minutes may feel like a constraint, but for the right mindset, it's the spark. Years of planning, second-guessing, doubting, dissolved by a 90-second window, if you choose. That's what Elon knows better than anyone alive. A pause, thoughts swirl, time seems to compress, you can almost feel possibilities converging. The most powerful futures are born from those who refuse to scroll past their gut feeling, who look urgency in the eye and decide, this is my scene. This is the starting point I'll name forever, even if no one else believes. In the beginning, believing is enough. 10 seconds. Elon closes the distance to the camera, direct and unsmiling. This is the last call. The next 3 minutes are not for the next news cycle, not for the highlight reel. This is a threshold. When the clock hits 0, those left awake in this window cross over. Not someday. Not after another excuse. Now. Do you hear it? The world always warns too late. But for you, the warning arrived. And so did opportunity. It's already here. Don't move. Don't talk yourself down. Let this moment claim you. Your name is about to be written on a future only the awake will enter. The countdown is nearly up, 1 minute left. You notice your breath, sharp, measured, then steadier, as if the air itself now feels electric. That's not your imagination. That's what happens when inertia drops away, and raw potential stands up in its place. Outside, the world will keep spinning, lost in distraction, thinking windows come back, that there's always another try. But people like Musk know, the game-changing window is almost always silent until it closes. Pause a moment, and just listen, to your own silence. For years you've absorbed noise from every direction, advice, warnings, fear, permission denied by people who never took their own leap. Now, strangely, it's your own voice inside that feels loudest. Let it rise. Elon glances down, scanning the data one final time, signals overlaying patterns, a blip, a spike, a shine. He leans forward, his tone dropping to that space where truth gets simple and strong. Nothing is more expensive than missing your signal, he says. Distraction is a thief, and time only answers to those who are present when it matters. Every part of you that ever doubted, that ever waited for someone to notice, is being summoned now, not by applause, but by the silent knowing that precedes a leap. Let it sink in, the world believes it gets to choose when to see you. But the secret is, the minute you move, you become the one worth seeing. And that, right there, is the difference. Contrast yourself now with every earlier version, each moment you almost clicked away, each time fear won, each time the clock ran out and you wondered if there even was a dividing line between those who are noticed and those who are forever invisible. This is it. Elon says, I've tracked systems, watched markets, mapped human potential in more layers than most will ever imagine, but there's one pattern I've waited for, someone whose timing matches the pivot of an era. If you hear this, you are closer to that edge than you think. There's no more room for apology, for shrinking, for one more round of what if. Pause again, let your identity catch up to your instinct. What if this whole time you weren't waiting for permission? What if you were waiting for a command, and this is it? Because here's the truth, not told in viral threads, not found in morning routines or productivity hacks, the real transformation belongs to the rare people who stay awake in the moment the world goes dark with skepticism. The rare ones who trust their signal over their doubt, even if nobody else claps. Let all the old stories flash across your inner screen, every job you didn't apply for, every message you erased instead of sending, every blueprint you tore up for being too wild. Now, compare that reel to a single action. The one you could take now. 50 seconds. Elon's voice again, soft but seismic. You ever notice history doesn't announce itself? Somebody closes a tab, checks a message, and the wave moves past. The few who ride, they aren't the loudest, they're the most prepared to risk looking foolish for the sake of not being left behind. Pain and regret are etched into those who waited. A different kind of history writes itself for those who moved. A future, not from fairy tales but from the stubbornness of the ones who didn't scroll away. He stares directly ahead, breathes in, and it's as if the whole world pauses with him. If you're still here, prepare yourself. 3 minutes is all most people get. But what you do in them, what you do now, determines if you come back here again. Or if you step forward, leaving the crowd for good. You feel it again, that charge up your spine, the certainty hiding beneath your nerves. Not certainty that everything will go perfectly, but certainty that nothing happens for those who hesitate at the hinge of destiny. 30 seconds. Can you feel the magnetism growing, inside you, and in the energy connecting this moment to the possibilities you always felt, even when nobody else did? If you do, it's because readiness recognizes itself. Musk's people, brilliant, exhausted, skeptical, inspired, are watching as time collapses into a choice. He closes his eyes for the briefest second, almost as if in silent respect. Sometimes, he admits, all it takes is one moment, one that you refuse to let slip. That moment is now. History doesn't go backward. People will tell you this is dramatic. But think about it, every person you idolize, every builder, every leader, every innovator, they moved when hesitation was the normal thing to do. They moved when the rest stayed. Now 20 seconds left. Musk's team rechecks everything, feeds, signals, even the room's temperature seems to drop. You notice your pulse steady, then soar. Isn't it strange, the calm that sometimes arrives right before you act? Here's your contrast. You can leave this window as one who only witnessed what could have been, or as the one who stepped toward it. 15 seconds. Elon draws in a breath you can almost hear. For those who act right now, the next phase becomes possible. Not hypothetically, literally. The rest is just story for the others. No shame in watching. But there's honor in moving. 10 seconds. 3 minutes come and go. But for the rare few left, I promise, this window, this exact window, will never open again the same way. If your heart is pounding, if you feel the urgency, it's you I'm speaking to. 5 seconds. Everything goes silent, the air dense with anticipation. You stand, or maybe you sit still, but inside, you are standing. This is that sliver of time when all explanations, all overthinking, all retelling drops away. 3, 2, 1.